All right. Hello, everyone. Or that is those of you who will join me. It's been a while since I did something on this channel. Um, I want to thank everyone who supported the last stream. The last stream was probably about 2 weeks ago, a month ago. I don't know. I'm losing track of time here. But that was the discussion of Wakanda Forever with Dr. Johnson. It's August was a travel month for me. I had a couple of voiceovers that I recorded for this channel. Um, but it was just a travel month for me. And there were a ton of things to do and a ton of things to finish up for August. And there were a ton of things for that are still on my plate. So the end result of that is me finally doing something over here. Again, I have 4 YouTube channels. This is the smallest one. Unfortunately, with everything on my plate, I water this one the least. But I wanted to get in here and do something really quick on House of the Dragon. And this is going to be a short stream. I intended to start this at 10:30 this morning on the East Coast, but I was working on things, and I just downloaded the most up-to-date version of Filmora Wondershare. For those of you who don't know, that is film editing software, and it's rendering a video right now, and I think it's using up a lot of the computer's memory. So there are things that I wanted this computer to do in the last hour that have taken a while, and I think it's because that program is using up memory. But it looks like you guys can see me. Let me see if this is a commenter or a bot. Oh, it's Sheed. What's going on, Sheed? Sheed, I did slide through your area last weekend. My cousin had a birthday party. Well, I won't get into all that, but I just didn't have time to reach out to everybody that I knew in the area. So I thought about you. I thought about some other folks, but there just wasn't time to reach out to everyone. So I'm going to play the intro. Adjust that so you can get all of my Super Mario shirt. I'm going to play the intro, and then I'm going to give my brief thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 of House of the Dragon. And then I'm going to jump off because this is the kickoff of the 2022 Michigan football season, and my team plays at noon. So I'm gonna get in and out. So let me make sure. Even the refresh is taking a little while, but I think it's because of this program that's running. Okay. It's even taking longer to generate the video, but that's new software. Okay, I'll see you on the other side of the intro. I suspect, well, She, thank you for being here. The views that I'm going to get for this one are going to come on the playback. So if you're watching on the playback, my Cash App and PayPal are below in the comments section. I think I already copied and pasted this, but I'll do it again. Everything's taking its time. Okay. She says, yeah, you're freezing. Okay, hold on, Sheet. Hold on. It's almost done. It says generating video almost done. 91%, 92. Let me look on my phone here. Okay, on my phone, I'm moving again. Okay, on my phone. Let me mute that. I'm moving again. Okay. Sheed, can you see me now? I mean, is it? Can you see me now? I mean, is it? Sheed, how do I look now? Okay, so in the science world, you learn things by trial and error. So I now know that this new version of Filmora Wondershare, for those of you who don't know, that is film editing software. At least for my computer, I have an i5 processor. When that program is running, it's going to use up all the memory, and I'd better not try to do anything else while that program is doing what it's doing. Okay, so it's 11:26. I want to jump on. I want to say what I have to say and jump off because the game is kicking off in 34 minutes. I'm going to play the intro and then I'll dive right in. Yeah. Technology. All right, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, Entertainment and Media. First of all, please. Yeah, so she says, and I, you know what, I'm not a master of this stuff. He says i5 and it's running like that. Wow, might have to go to 7 or 2 computers, maybe 3. Yeah, might be time to upgrade the entire setup here. Okay, but I'm here now. Okay, we're here now. I feel like I've been playing catch up for the last, well, since I landed back here on Tuesday. Okay, all right. The game's in 30 minutes. I started this late. Had some technical difficulties. So let's jump in. Okay, I want to do a quick stream on episodes 1 and 2 of House of the Dragon. This is part of the Game of Thrones series. Let me pull this up as a visual. And if I was freezing on the front end of this, I'm going to have to go in and maybe edit out the front. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, this is from the HBO website. This is the official website of House of the Dragon. I mean, I don't have to explain where this comes from. I mean, this is a part of George R. Martin's story, the whole Game of Thrones lore, the whole Game of Thrones saga. I believe there were 7 seasons of the original Game of Thrones, that original series. I started watching it late. Everybody was streaming at that point. I didn't have HBO. And then once my best friend gave me a jailbroken Fire Stick, I probably shouldn't say that online, I was able to use the platform Tarium to catch up with everyone and then watch the later seasons as they proceeded through to their completion. I thought the writing was stellar. I thought the storytelling was stellar. It had a medieval concept, dragons, magic, knights, different houses. It had a map. The story world was Westeros. You had all these different races, all these different houses, all these different sigils, all these different lines to kingship and lordship, and but in large part, it was a big soap opera. And at least early on, I think the draw to it was that characters that you would get attached to, they get killed off early. I remember people talking about that. And then once I finally started watching the series, I was like, wow, there are a lot of characters who are getting killed in this early on, and there's a lot of sex in this, and there's just a lot in this. And I, as a writer myself, I've found myself watching a lot of George R. Martin's videos because I am curious and interested in the creative process. And it's really, really fascinating for me to listen to him talk about where the ideas for this came from, how he created the characters, who the influence for the characters were, and also things like representation in his work and why there aren't more Black characters, and the ins and outs of creating a diverse cast. The master teacher has stopped through. BGS, that's a good question, and I'm going to expose myself here. I have not read. I mean, no, I've not. So everyone, it's out there. I haven't read the books. So at some point, maybe I'll invest in all the books, but I have to have time to sit down and read the books. And right now I'm strapped for time. So I'm saying this to say that those are my impressions of the first installation of this. A lot of people were disappointed with how the first iteration of this ended, because what happened was George R. Martin didn't finish the final books of that first installation, but HBO went ahead and they finished it. So there's a bit of a disconnect between. There's going to be a bit of a disconnect, it seems, between how the HBO series ended and how the actual books ended. And folks are waiting for him to finish the books, and it's just a total I won't say a total mess, but that was the first series, and I thought the writing was, at least within the first 4 seasons of it, everything was good, and then the opinion was that it kind of fell off, kind of went in a different direction. But some of those dynamics between the Lannisters and the Starks and the Greyjoys and it was just very, very brilliant writing in my opinion, and acting by characters like Peter Dinklage and Charles Dance and Sean Bean and those kinds of things. It was just really, really stellar acting, stellar acting and writing and production, in my opinion. BGS says money talks. I think you're referring to where they went with it, and that's typically what drives things. So, and I think that's probably where I'll go with this discussion. So, they've released House of the Dragon, which interestingly, I believe is being released alongside the Amazon series, the Rings of Power. That has gotten its share of criticism because of the way the trailer looks, and it seems that Amazon is going for the whole diversity thing. A lot of traditionalists who are advocates of the source material aren't happy about that. And when you look at the original Lord of the Rings movies, I was talking to somebody about this last night. There were no everyone in the original Lord of the Rings series was white. Okay. There might have been some melanated people underneath makeup playing the orcs and the Urukai, but pretty much the main cast of the first Lord of the Rings trilogy was white. And I own the entire extended edition. It's sitting right back there in my collection. And it did occur to me when I was watching that, there are no black people in here. You know, there are no black hobbits. There are no black elves. There are no black dwarfs. And I remember staying with my dad, and I was watching, I think, the Fellowship of the Ring, the extended edition. He walked in and said, basically, there are no black people in here. But at the end of the day, I thought about it and I said, you know what? I understand where J.R.R. Tolkien, where these books were written, where he came of age, and this is his vision for what it was, or what this is his vision for what the story is. So it's entertaining to me. It's hooked me in. I'm watching this stuff over and over and over again. So I don't really care that there are no black characters in it. So I'm just saying this to say that this seems to have been released right along Rings of Power. And one of the criticisms of Rings of Power is that it seems to be going for the diversity woke thing, just like what's happening at Marvel and Disney. Okay, I'm looking at the clock here. There are 22 minutes until kickoff. All right. So House of the Dragon seasons episodes 1 and 2. So I'm assuming you guys have probably watched it. Black Uru Strike says, I think the real strength of Game of Thrones was the casting. Thinking back, the casting of that series might be the very greatest of any drama fantasy series. Yeah, there was a stellar cast, and a lot of violence, a lot of brutal things there in that series. Okay, so this is kind of a I guess if you want to call it a prequel. This is a prequel to the songs of Ice and Fire. So it says when this comes on, this is 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones. So then this is looking strictly at House Targaryen. And if you watched the original Game of Thrones series, or if you read the books, you know that a major thread of that original series was at least in the TV series, we heard about it, but we didn't see death of the Mad King, who was one of the Targaryens. And Jaime Lannister actually was the one who slayed the Mad King, and which is why Jaime got the nickname the Kingslayer. the killing of the Mad King paved the way for Robert Baratheon to become the king of Westeros. And that, I'm not going to get into the whole series of events there, but this is the family. These are the predecessors of the Mad King. So a major thread of that story was Daenerys Targaryen setting out to reclaim the Iron Throne. And I'm not going to get into how all that happens because I don't have time, and you can go look that up. But after watching the first 2 episodes of House of the Dragon season 1, there are a couple things that I thought about. There are a couple things that I've taken away, and one of the themes that they've really hit upon early was, or should I say, is bloodlines and heirs. So this right here, this is on the HBO website. I don't think this will draw a claim or anything. But this is on the HBO website, and this is diagramming out for you the family trees: House Valerian, the Targaryens, and House Hightower. So I'm going to talk about this just briefly. It's one of the, I think there's a lot of memory on this site. I don't know if that's the right word, because on Chrome this wouldn't open for me. I had to open this in Edge. But so far, these are your major players. So you have the House of the Dragon. I would say the main characters are Varys, the first Targaryen. He's the king. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. That might be as far as that's going to go for me. Okay. So Varys, the first Targaryen, his wife, Aemma Arryn. Okay. His brother is Daemon Targaryen. Okay. It looks like, I'm looking at this right now. It looks like their Rhaenys Targaryen is a cousin from another line. Yeah, because her father is Aemon Targaryen. Her father's Aemon Targaryen and Jocelyn Baratheon. Okay, so she's a child of a Baratheon and a Targaryen. Okay. And then over here, going back to ethnicity and color, you have House Valerian. So they chose, and I don't know if George R. Martin wrote it up this way, but it looks like House Valerian is black. They're melanated just like us. So over there you have Corlys Valerian. Okay, so it looks like he's married to Rhaenys Targaryen, and they have a daughter, Laena Valerian, and a son, Laenor Valerian. That would explain why they're kind of fair-skinned. Okay. So over here, you have House Hightower. And I believe this gentleman right here, Otto Hightower, I believe he's the King's Hand. For those of you who have watched this series and we have watched the lore, you know that the King's Hand is the advisor to the king, kind of like a consigliere. So that's a very, very important position. And I'm not sure who Horbert Hightower, that might be his brother. His daughter is Alicent Hightower. I'm going to get to her shortly. And then over here, going back to the king, Viserys the First Targaryen, his daughter is Rhaenyra Targaryen. Okay. So a major theme of this that I'm seeing thus far, and I'm only 2 episodes in, they're releasing these every Sunday. is the concept of bloodlines. That's huge. They're really hitting upon that, and particularly having a male heir, a male successor to the throne. Okay. So in the first episode, and this is a spoiler for those of you who have not seen it, the king, Viserys Targaryen, he's agonizing over having a male heir. Okay. And his wife, Emma Targaryen. Oh, I got a new sub. Thank you to Abaddon718. Thank you for subscribing. I don't know if you're from Dr. Johnson's space, the BGS space, or if you just found this. I didn't have time to put in the tags before I started doing this. But anyway, having a male heir, there has to be a male heir to take over the throne and to continue the family line. They talked about that in the original series a little bit, but here they're really hitting on it. And for whatever reason, the king and his wife, they have had a hard time having a male heir. And this is a spoiler if you haven't seen it. You can turn this off now. They actually show her in childbirth. I think it's the thing where the umbilical cord is wrapped around the neck of the baby. They can't get the baby out. They can't get his youngest son out. And so the Grand Maester, I believe it's the Grand Maester, comes to him and pulls him aside and says, you know, that there's a way to do this. We can basically do a cesarean section. Your wife might not survive. Your wife might not survive. We haven't come up with a solution for all the blood loss, but you'll at least get the baby out. And Viserys, in his urgency to have an heir to pass his kingdom on to and to continue the family line, he sacrifices his wife, and he says, "Yeah, go ahead, do it." It's very sad. It's very brutal. It's very sobering. He goes up next to her, says that he loves her, kisses her, and instantly she senses something is about to happen, and they show it. They show them cutting on her. She's awake. She's witnessing the entire thing. But I think that scene and that whole turn of events that communicated the importance of him having a male heir, him having a male successor. He was willing to sacrifice his wife, his lovely wife. And she tried to have multiple children for him. And she says, this is the last one. We're not going to do this again. Black Uru says, Viserys' mistake was not getting a second wife or not replacing the first wife. She was built for producing heirs. Interesting. And this is a depending upon the family that you're born into today, this is a big deal. I mean, in some families and in some, I mean, you can make the argument that this is not a big deal anymore, but for some families, and depending upon the number of boomers and silent generation people that you have still alive, this is a big deal. Having heirs, having another generation, those kinds of things. So this is a major theme, a major thread of episodes 1 and 2. So he loses his first wife, right? And his daughter, Rhaenyra, she's the daughter. Now there's a thing of, is she going to be the heir, or is his brother Daemon going to be the heir? Okay, because I think according to the custom of the Targaryens, if the current king does not have a son, then his brother by right becomes the heir. Okay, so it also turns out that his brother Daemon is a little bit crazy. His brother Daemon wants the throne. His brother Daemon is very I think insolent, petulant, maybe that's the right word. His brother Damon is not playing with the full deck. So he wants to be the heir. He's very rebellious, very insolent. And yeah. So in addition to that, so we're just piling on the layers here. Now here's where the potential, the other main theme, the other main thread comes in, which is can a woman become the heir to the throne? And what you see in the first episode is that Rhaenys Targaryen over here, they had the opportunity to either promote her to be the ruler, to promote her to sit on the Iron Throne, or they had the opportunity to appoint Viserys to the Iron Throne. So another theme is it's a man's world. It's the order of things. A woman will never be promoted to the Iron Throne. So Viserys was appointed to the Iron Throne over what I'll call his cousin. So now we've come full circle. Viserys couldn't have a son, tragically loses his wife, and now the question is, will Daemon get it, or will Rhaenyra get it? And at the end of episode 2, I'm not going to go into all the details. I'm looking at the clock right now. Viserys appoints Rhaenyra as the heir to the Iron Throne. So now you have now there's a conflict that's going to be going forward between her being the heir and Daemon being the heir. But it gets better. It gets even better. Corlys. After Viserys's wife tragically died, Corlys goes to Prince Viserys and says, "Hey, you just lost your wife. I have a young daughter. Why don't you take my daughter? Let's join House Valerian and House Targaryen. We'll keep it all in the family. We'll consolidate power. We'll show a united front to all of Westeros. That's what we should do." And there's an actual scene where Viserys is walking with his daughter, talking to her, and she says, I was told I won't have to bear you children until I turn age 14. That, vice versa. And Viserys is conflicted about marrying this young girl. He doesn't really love this young girl. He is still getting over his wife's passing. And he's not sure if he should do this. The final thread, which I'll talk about, I'm looking at the clock here, is happening over here with the King's Hand. His King's Hand, and I didn't realize this till I watched episode 2 a second time. If you guys hear a siren, there's a emergency vehicle going by. Otto Hightower. He tells his daughter, Alicent, who was friends with Rhaenyra, you should go comfort the king. You should keep the king company as he's getting over his former wife, his deceased wife. You should go keep him company. You should be a friend to the king. Okay. What it appears to me, and I'm sure you guys will agree, is that he was secretly positioning his daughter to be the king, to be Viserys' wife, because she does in fact go, and he requests her. He tells her, go comfort the king, go spend time with him. He needs some company. And what you actually see is her going to spend time with the king, and he starts to develop a liking for her, an affinity for her. And then at the end of episode 2, he makes the announcement, my new wife is going to be Alicent Hightower. So again, it's my opinion that Otto Hightower, the King's Hand, he he orchestrated that. He positioned his daughter to be there for him, knowing that he would probably use her. Now, the funny thing when watching that, and then of course at the end, Corlys, he feels slighted because Viserys said, "No, I'm not marrying your daughter. I'm taking Allison." The thing I thought about, hey guys, please hit the like button. If you haven't, please hit the like button. It'll probably be a while before I have AdSense over here and a super chat and those kinds of things, but the engagement always helps. Okay. What I thought when I saw that scene and why Corlys was probably triggered out here on the planet Earth was, okay, he chose the white girl. He didn't want the Viserys didn't want the colored wife. I mean, that's probably not what it was, but as I was watching that, that's just what I was thinking. So at the end of episode 2, Corlys feels rejected and slighted, and of course he goes and meets up with at the end of episode 2, he and Daemon are talking, and so going forward, it looks like there's gonna be some sort of insurrection or turning against House Targaryen by House Valerian and Daemon. So those are my impressions of episodes 1 and 2. It's about bloodlines. It's about the importance of bloodlines. It was about having a male heir, but I think one of the things they may be trying to say is you can have a female ruler, you can have a female heir as well. She can lead the kingdom, she can sit on the Iron Throne. And also, yeah, those two. Bloodlines, consolidating power, and then also you can have a female leader and ruler as well. And actually, so far, Rhaenyra is shaping out to be the Heronian. And it's almost similar to Prey. I don't know. Well, I'm sure I see Karine, not Karen. She's there. Everyone here's probably seen Prey, the latest Predator sequel. Same thing. She was being told in the beginning, you're better off gathering food. You're better off gathering berries and vegetables with us. No, I want to hunt. No, I can go out and kill things like the guys can. Similar thread here. Before her mother died, Rhaenyra's mother told her, your job is to bear children. Your job is to continue a man's bloodline. And her opinion was, no, I want to, there's more that I can do. There's more that I can be. I can sit on the Iron Throne. I can fly around on dragons. So that's it looks like that's going to be a major thread of this, a major theme of this. So I'm going to read some of the comments here. I'm going to hop off in a minute. There's 2 minutes to kick off. I see that BGS had to tell Kenshawn to chill out. I don't know why. I don't think I said anything to upset anyone. Let's take a quick look at the cast. So this is the character guide. This is on the HBO site. Okay, let's take a quick look at the characters. Because a lot of the characters, they look different when they're dressed up and they're wearing that long hair and all those things. But let's see what they look like in real life, just real quickly. Then I'll go over the comments, then I'll hop off so I can watch my football team play. Okay. This is the cast. So she looks very different without the white hair or the wig or whatever it is she's wearing. So the main character, Millie Alcock, I've never seen her before. Damon's played by Matt Smith. Emma Darcy is playing. So I guess we're only going to see I guess we're eventually going to see Rhaenyra grow up. So this woman here, Emma Darcy, she's going to play a grown version of Rhaenyra. So we're only going to see Millie Alcock for a little while. Olivia Cook, she plays Alicent Hightower. Patty, who names her son Patty? Maybe it's short Patrick. Patty Considine plays Viserys the First. Eve Best plays Princess Rhaenys. Emily Carey. Who's Emily Carey playing? I thought she was playing Alicent Hightower. Or maybe Olivia Cook is going to be the grown version of Alicent Hightower. Okay, so we're going to watch these two girls grow up. Okay, just really quickly, Savannah Stein. Okay, these are all characters that'll probably come in as we go forward. And Steve Toussaint. Yeah, he was Corlys Valerian. Okay. Ooh, it's 12:01. I'm going to read through some of your comments here, and I'm going to wrap this up. Okay. Yeah, if you're watching on the playback, I was having some technical difficulties in the beginning. I was running the latest version of Filmora Wondershare, and I was rendering a video, and I think it was using most of the computer's memory. So when most of the computer's memory is being used on one thing, it can't be used on other things. So I was a little choppy in the beginning. I might have to go back in and edit out the front of this because she says I was looking kind of choppy. Okay, so let's skip ahead. BGS asked me if I read the books. Let's see. Black Uber says, I think the real strength of Game of Thrones was the casting. Thinking back, the casting of that series might be the greatest of any drama fantasy series. Yep. BGS says, listen to the Audible. Yep. Okay. Audio books. There you go. BGS says, Money Talks. This probably relates to the writing and the interpretation of George R. Martin's books for what we're seeing on screen. BGS. She says, ooh. Black Uber says, traditionalists, my black arse. Black Uber Strike says, Viserys' mistake was not getting a second wife or not replacing the first wife. She was built for producing heirs. Black Uber says she meant she was not built for producing heirs. Okay. Pragmatic Prime says, greetings, Dr. Dunbar. Black Uber Strike says the wife was already dying. She had lost too much blood. Saving the kid was the only. Okay, Black Uber, thank you for pointing that out. Sometimes I have to watch things multiple times before all the details seep into my mind. And with the level of writing in this series, sometimes you have to watch things multiple times. So she was already dying. Okay. Saving the kid was the only possible positive result. Would have been nice, though, if they had an anesthetic to give the wife to put her down so she didn't go through all that suffering. That was hard to watch. Pragmatic Prime says, like Eddard Stark, Viserys was bound by duty and loses everything. Yep. When you watch this, he has to have an heir. You have to have an heir. You have to have an heir. And then also you have to remarry. You have to remarry. And I think I was talking to someone about this recently. I think even in today's world, in the past, a lot of things were done out of a sense of duty, and it's because you're expected to do it. And that you see some of the characters early on fighting with that. It's what I'm supposed to do based upon family tradition and family expectation. You're seeing that a lot early on in the series. Okay. Kenshawn says, I'd like to come on and talk if you're open. Kenshawn, you know what? Maybe we could do a follow-up. Monday's a holiday. Football game is actually on. But maybe we can do a follow-up. If you guys want to do a follow-up on this, perhaps we can do that. And maybe because episode 3 comes out tomorrow night. So maybe we could do a follow-up. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. And maybe I'll do a stream just on episode 3. Yeah, I'll do a stream on episode 3, and then if some of you guys want to come up and talk about that and anything I've talked about here, we could do that. But the game is on now, so I got to finish up. Okay, so this one BGS said, "Calm down, Kenshawn." Dante says, "Daemon is more of a Targaryen than a king." Okay. Kenshawn says, "Great stream with Courtney." I caught the tail end of that. Courtney, we need to talk. Yeah, that was a good stream. Black Uru says, "We haven't really seen what was so bad about Daemon. That's a weakness in the writing." Black Uru, he seems to be sabotaging his brother at every opportunity. He seems to want the throne. And in that first episode, you see that he assembled his own royal guard with the gold capes, and they went through and they murdered all those people. So I think we are seeing what's bad about Daemon. Black Uber says, "Howdy, Kimasabi." Kenshawn says, "Only thing I watched since starting classes last month." Okay. Okay, 7 minutes. Yeah, the game. Yeah, I need to jump off. Otto Hightower reminds me of Tywin Lannister, but with more submissive children. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. In the original series, yeah, Tywin was really cracking the whip on Jaime and Cersei and Tyrion. Did Tywin know? And we can talk about this going forward. Did Tywin actually know that Joffrey and Tommen and Marcella, I think there was one other child, did he know that they were actually born of incest? Or did Jaime and Cersei do a good job keeping that a secret? Okay. Cooperative children, Kareen, not Karen, or Kareen House Atreides. Thank you for stopping through. Ken Sean says, the king's lack of trust in his own counsel grows by the hour since he cut the baby out. Yeah. The black girl was literally a child. Yeah, that stood out to me as well. Like, wow, this girl, she's young. She's really, really young. She's not even a teenager. She says that's the sheer. What is that? The Sheed sphere? She said, "It told me it's time." Yep, 7 minutes after the hour. I missed kickoff. Kenshaw says Rhaenyra has Arya written all over her. Yep, the young protagonist, young female protagonist. Black Ruby Strike says she will be bleeding for 2 years. There will be 2 actors for some. Yep, the show will age up. I saw episode 2 already. I'm gonna watch the 3rd one on Monday. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow night, probably. After I get back from this, there's a party tomorrow night in someone's backyard, a jazz party. How about Kenshawn? Here we go with the Steelers. You Steelers or Dolphins? How about the Bills versus Dolphins week 3? Kareen is a Steelers fan. I think you're a Dolphins fan. I feel. Yeah, Kenshawn, let's do it. Over on my sports channel, let's do it. And then milk of the puppy was used, but still too much blood. Pragmatic Prime, they did have an anesthetic. They had milk of the poppy, opioids, but too much would have killed both her and the baby. Ken Sean says they have been leaked, so it would be out today if HBO does not pay that ransom for the hackers. And then Dante said Tywin knew, but he could never acknowledge it. Okay, hey, going back to this point here about the anesthetic, it looks like Viserys has some health issues too. His thing happened to his finger. And then he had to put his finger in the maggots, right? And then he has some kind of wound that's not healing on his back. So he might die from some sort of infection. They didn't really say what happened to his finger, I don't think, or where that hole in his back came from. But that might be what kills him off. All right, everyone, I'm going to jump off because my football team, it's 9 minutes into the hour. I've probably missed kickoff. Pragmatic Prime says those wounds were from cuts from the throne. Okay, yeah, the throne is a bunch of swords, I believe, welded together. That makes sense. He cut his finger. Okay, gotta watch it multiple times to get all this stuff. It's the same way with The Matrix. I had to watch The Matrix multiple times. I just have to watch movies and shows multiple times for me to get everything. So he cut his finger after he banished Damon from the court. Okay. Everyone, I'm going to jump off. Yeah, look for something in the aftermath of episode 3, and then I'll set aside more time to open it up so you guys can come up and say your piece as well. Look out for new uploads on my STEM channel, my science, technology, engineering, mathematics channel, and also my original channel as well. Everyone, thank you for those of you who came through and hung out here. I apologize for the choppy start. Again, I was running a program, the latest version of Fillmore Wondershare, and it was using up too much memory. So it may be time to, well, it's been time to upgrade all the technology here. But thank you. So if you're watching on the playback and you want to make a donation, no matter how small, to the channel, my Cash App and PayPal are there, and they're also below in the description box. Everyone, stay safe out there, and as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. If you're new to the channel, if the algorithm brought you here, please consider subscribing, and definitely please like the video. All right, everyone, I will talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Bye-bye.